All right, so the roads take me to strange places. They really do. My girlfriend Jacqueline and I were watching the show, the documentary Enlighten Up, and there was this crazy man on Enlighten Up, and so the Enlighten Up's this thing about all these guys. This one guy trying to figure out what he's going to do with yoga, and he comes to you, Diamond Dallas Page, and you show him the YRG, now the DDP yoga style, and I'm hooked. For the minute I see this, I'm like, okay, that I could do. And this is how I started doing yoga. This is why I now practice yoga, besides having a yoga instructor girlfriend, is that you made it accessible. Thousands of people tell you this. Tens of thousands of people tell you this. Is that not true?
It's really funny because I developed a form of yoga for guys who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. Because I was one of those guys. And, at 42 years old, but you have to understand, I started wrestling at 35, which... Steve Austin retired at 37. Edge just retired at 34. I started at 35. My career took off at 40. That was 96, 97, 98. I was on top of the world. And then I ruptured my L4 and L5. So I was sort of like forced into doing yoga.
It's just got to be. I mean, first off, that's tricky. You're the Randy Couture of your sport, or rather, he's the the Diamond Dallas Page of mixed martial arts. He started late and kind of his career was they would call him the old man of mixed martial arts. I mean,
sure.
I think you must embrace that, because it's great when someone calls you old and then you flip them over and crush their head on the ground. So, you are. It seems to me in the best shape of your life. Do you wake up feeling that way? I mean, are you just like so on top of the world?
I normally would have to get started. I developed a workout for DDP yoga called Wake Up, because I just wanted to get the juices flowing and start breaking up the scar tissue. And I did that workout for years before I made it part of the DDP yoga workout program. But when I stopped eating wheat and dairy, which is about 3 years ago, I have not done that workout. So I do wake up feeling like, man, I'm 55 and I feel awesome when I wake up. And that was not happening for many, many days.
It's a beautiful thing. You look like 10 million bucks, and it's just really great. Yoga, as you're quick to point out, isn't exactly... It isn't exactly in alignment with what one thinks when they think of former professional wrestling world champions, nor horror movie stars. When I'm in the class and we're starting to get into leaning backwards, I hear you in my head. I'm doing a diamond cutter, even though none of them are. I'm the only idiot in the class doing it. I mean, it's just how did you realize that you could just be you going into building this program? I mean, because it's so full of dogma, yoga. So how did you just say, I'm Diamond Dallas Page no matter where I am?
It started out, Chris, it was totally by accident, really, from A to Z. And I sort of stumbled into stuff because when I first started doing the yoga off the DVDs, I was like, wow, first couple of weeks, this is starting to help me. So I immediately started to make it my own. A lot of people who know me say it's sort of like what Bruce Lee did with mixed martial arts. Mm-hmm. He went his own path and didn't care about the traditionalists. Me too. I sort of took those great yoga moves from up dog to down dog to all the different amazing stretches that are also for power and strength and take away back pain. And I mixed them with rehab and old school calisthenics, and then that dynamic resistance. I know you know what I'm talking about. When I'm engaging my muscles as I'm moving, now every time I engage a muscle, my heart's got to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. Hence, you get in the fat burning zone, standing still with zero impact, yet kick-ass cardio, dramatically increased flexibility and core strength conditioning. So now it's sort of yoga, the moves, some of them, but not. And I wanted to eliminate and I love the namaste thing for the people who do it, but namaste is not what DDP yoga is about. More like TNA, like tone and attitude, from the 1-1, from the punching to the kneeing, to the just engaging of the muscles, the diamond cutters. I made it accessible and friendly to people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga like me. But you said it right here. You wouldn't have gone to that yoga class if you didn't start out doing DDP yoga. And that's where I open up a lot of people's minds to, well, let me try this other yoga too as well.
Right. And I think what I've learned about yoga people is that, I mean, there's sort of two camps. There's I started with Ashtanga, so I'm going to die with it. And then there's the other kind that are like, it's like a buffet. I'll try some other yogas. It'll be all great. I think more people will benefit from that. One of the things that you were just saying when you talked about the fat burning zone, it's also your damn fault that I bought, a heart rate monitor for the first time in a long time. And I'm checking all the time going, I'm dying. And I'm just doing mountain pose right now. I'm just standing still, essentially.
Right.
What's your daily workout like? What is it like to be you on a given day? I mean, you travel a bunch still. You're going all over the place. I mean, how do you sneak it into the day?
I make it so much a part of my day. Like I'll like today, the guy who's he's the starting fullback at the San Francisco 49ers. His name is Bruce Miller, and he's from Georgia, and I happen to be in Georgia right now, and I've known him since he was a kid. He was their #1 draft pick last year. So ended up being he came in as a defensive end or a defensive tackle, and ended up being their fullback. And he's so strong, but not those little muscles. So when I went, like he's coming here today, I worked out with him on Saturday. I love making workouts with different people. That this girl Stacy, who will be in my infomercial, she was here yesterday. So I love working out with friends and people who have never done it before, and that's really gets interesting. From that to the people like this guy, Bruce Miller, number 49, he's such a stud, but I showed him how weak he was without embarrassing him. Like I'm saying, okay, here's where we are. Here's where you are. Now let me show you where the 55-year-old man who's 31 years older than you is in this same position. And he's shaking and quivering and sweat pouring off him. I don't have any sweat. My heart rate yet is at the same spot because the heart rate is everything, especially for guys. You got to be able to see what you're doing. And when I just raise my arms twice in touchdown and 2 diamond cutters, and can take my heart rate from 80 to 125. People are like, what?
Yeah, I am the only guy ever in any yoga class, including yours, where I look like I'm in a Bikram class, where they've got it up to 110 degrees, because I'm still not there. You're right, too, about, no matter how strong you think you are, and you could bench 200 pounds and you could do 50 push-ups in a row, but sit perfectly still in a down dog for, 10 seconds and you're squealing a bit.
Yeah, but there's so many positions like that. But once you build that strength, then it becomes easier. And for me, with DDP yoga, I'm all about getting that kick-ass cardiovascular workout that you don't have to be in a class. Because if you're in a class, like sometimes you go to those classes where you're not doing the DVDs, when you go to those classes, all that body heat automatically lifts your heart rate. And a lot of times it's going to take it too high once you get halfway through the workout. So you got to back off, because you don't want to train too high. If you do, you're exhausted at the end of the workout. Up till 25, no pain, no gain works. After 30, pain means pain. So you need to watch your heart monitor to really get the most out of any workout you're doing. Triathletes, not one of them doesn't have a heart monitor on.
Dallas, I'm going to, after this, show the full video that you put up on YouTube a billion years ago of Arthur Borman. But you can't watch that enough. I mean, on days when I'm really feeling like, I just don't have it in me, or like I only got 4 hours sleep, so I'm just going to skip yoga today. I mean, those kinds of transformations, seeing a guy lose 140 pounds and go from he couldn't walk without canes to how, I'm not even going to tell the ending. First off, it's got to make you feel good. I mean, you've gone through your professional career. As a wrestler, your world is to entertain primarily, to hopefully inspire, to keep people's heads off of worse issues, I think, and to do something a little more positive than be in the street gang, I guess.
Right.
What's it like for you, sort of the spiritual side? I mean, obviously it's good, but is that part of what keeps you going? What keeps you moving forward in this?
The amount of people that, I have this site, teamddpyoga.com, and it comes with a program. I just talked to a guy the other day who was 447 pounds, and to watch him want it so bad, and to talk to him and watch him put his pictures up and really step into that world that he is so uncomfortable with in the beginning. But then he goes to that site and he realizes all these people come by and welcome them because a lot of them were in the same position. And I watch these people help these other people because that's my whole, it's like my gimmick. I tell everybody that I work with on that site, and I work with a lot of people, if they put the work in, I tell them, you've already spent the money. You put the work in, I will help you. But when you stop helping you, I stop. So when you stop putting the work in, I stop. But if you continue, and it's amazing, some of the, I don't know if you saw the video, it's on the front cover of ddpyoga.com of Stacey Morris.
Yes.
And she was 345 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
She came to that site because she found out about it after she originally bought the program a couple of years ago. And she started with my first program, just my YRG workouts. And she came there looking for inspiration. She met Terry Lang, who's the first person I ever helped. I call her the godmother of DDP yoga. She was 6 months from 50 on her journey. 6 months later, on her 50th birthday, she was suicidal about turning 50, like a lot of people can get. But on her 50th birthday, she looked better than she did on her 40th. Her mindset had completely changed. She changed her life and grabbed a hold of it. She was on that site. Stacy starts talking to her. Before you know it, Stacy's lost 30 pounds. Terry sends me an email. Maybe you want to get in touch with this girl. I do. We talk. She goes through the next phase. 18 months, she's 185 pounds lighter. Her whole life has changed because it's not a diet. The first three letters of the word diet are
die.
Right. You know, she grabbed the whole of it and understands, like we're doing my infomercial right now. It'll be day 1, 3 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever your goal is, whether it's 9 months. In her case, it was 18 months. Now let's go 3 years later, because it's not about the 60 days or the 90 days. It's about the lifestyle change. When this woman not only changes her lifestyle, but now she hosts DDP Radio. She's one of my co-hosts, and her and a guy named Sparky, they're on the show when I'm not there. But even when I'm there, they're right there with me because they have some really cool, inspiring things to say to people who are just starting out. So when I was wrestling, and man, I was on top of the world from 97 to really to 2001. It was a dream. It was so unbelievable living the dream. But what I'm doing today is so much cooler because it's not just weight loss. It's guys who are beat up, who's original people I wrote this for, this workout for it. I developed everything with my buddy, the yoga doc. It was for people, not just guys, but men and women, because everybody plays sports in high school today. But as you get older, your body starts to feel the wear and tear. It's for people that want to eliminate that back pain, the shoulder pain, the knee pain. I'm an expert on breaking up scar tissue because I'm the king of scar tissue. So it's all about doing this and holding back the hands of time. So that when I see people, grab a hold of it the way they do, that inspires me. And like everyone right now who comes on teamddpyoga.com, I welcome everyone. It's the only cut and paste email you'll see from me. After that, if you're working, I'm working. And people are really moved by that.
No question. One of the things I was going to say to you, and I'm not a big fan of sucking up, so it's just a real basic compliment, is that you care about community, and a lot of people say they do. And what I've seen over your shoulder when I look at how you interact with people and how you reference other people, it's always about your community. And you've done really well. And I'm curious to know how this translated back in wrestling days when it was a slightly different dynamic. But you know that the people are what make you successful. I mean, you've got to do your work, but if you don't give them all the love you can, it doesn't matter how great you're doing, because no one's there just to be your audience, I guess, is my point. How did that change from the wrestling days, and how did you come to embrace it as strongly as you do?
I think when the wrestling days, when I was first the character Diamond Dallas Page, I was trying to create this bigger-than-life character, wrestling character. It never really got over with the people. And I realized at some point in 96, and there was other people who were giving me, little bits of information that I was processing. I realized when Paige Joseph Falkenberg, which is my real name, was trying to be Diamond Dallas Page, it never really worked. But when Diamond Dallas Page started to take on the characteristics of Page Joseph Falkenberg, the passion, the work ethic, the telling it like it is, when it became that guy who was really me, amped up, it really got over. And it got over in a way, Chris, I can't tell you today when I meet someone who realizes, oh my God, DDP, and they hug me and they say, you don't know, brother. You just don't know. But I do. I do know because it's happened so many times on so many levels. And I reached out and touched people in a way that it wasn't bullshit to them. They realized what I was saying, a lot of it was really real.
Right.
Because in my promos back with WCW, I would say, they said I was never going to be a top guy. They say I was never going to be a main eventer. They were wrong. Mm-hmm. And I would be talking right to the people who made the decisions because I was going to prove them that work ethic equals results. Now, how does that translate into DDP yoga?
Right.
Same thing. Like right now, Chris, if anybody gets their program and it comes off of your website here and it says they put in the little box, DDP Bang. And I have a little different thing for each show I do. If they put in DDP Bang, I guarantee you I will pick up the phone and call them. So who does that?
No one. Oh my gosh. Look, they laugh at me for replying to every email that I get in my newsletter. And, you're doing it one even more. Yeah, I'll just call them. Hey, why not?
Well, Chris, remember, I grew up ADD and dyslexic. I was reading at a third grade level at the age of 30. I'm a much better reader today and a much better writer. Repetition is the mother of learning. But I'm still a way better talker.
You're a verbal and visual guy. I know that. I wanted to say one of the things I love about your DVDs, when I'm using the DDP yoga system and the diamond cutter, for example, at the end of it, the jubilation and everything, when we finish and we smash ourselves on the ground and we're like, yeah, partly because it's, I only have the one take, so it always feels the same to me. It's Groundhog Day. You're so fresh and invigorated, and it's hard to imagine anything that you do repetitively feeling so fresh all the time. How do you bring that energy? Because I know you do. If I practiced with you today, if I flew to Atlanta and hung out with you today, it would end on that screaming high note. How do you bring that every time?
I just live it, man. I lived it when I was wrestling. I mean, I'm so, especially now, because now DDP Yoga there's a buzz. I've got Chris Jericho in a WWE who wouldn't be wrestling in the main event at WrestleMania if he wasn't doing, Chris Jericho said, DDP Yoga changed my life. He had a herniated L4. The doctor said he was done. Well, after 3 months, he was ready to go, but that's how long it took me when I ruptured my L4, L5. 3 months of vigorous work, and the knowing that what's on the other side of it. Chris has turned so many, Mankind, Santino, Kane, there's so many wrestlers doing it. I've got pro football players doing it because their bodies are getting beat up, but they still want to play the game. And when I can still help them live that dream, that is so passionate, man. And when I'm doing my workout, I know that, the hardest thing to do is to get on the mat every day or 6 days a week or 5 days a week. But tell me, Chris, have you ever got to the end of a workout where you said, wow, I wish I didn't do that?
No. I mean, there might be some times in the middle, especially if I'm going down for your 10 count slow push-ups, that I'm saying other words you're not saying in the DVD, but I'm saying them into my mat. So I guess I got there.
And you get to the end and you feel so good. It's especially if you don't overtrain. Again, the heart monitor. You should be watching that all the time because you don't want to be more than 10 clicks over your zone for any period of time, because I've done it and got to the end and blew myself up too much and ended up actually going, wow, I'm exhausted. Don't do that. Don't overtrain. And I think I'm the first person to ever say that in the fitness world, period. If you watch those poor guys on Biggest Loser, they're killing them. It's so wrong. It's so wrong the way they are training those really big older people, especially. But the younger people, they're going to feel it when they become the older people. So for me, it's the passion of what I'm doing. And I could, believe me, I've I've got a lot of money involved in this, and I have not made any money, and I will at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm paying all my bills and paying other people, and I'm building a bigger company that we can spread the word to even broader base audience. And for me right now, I don't care, because I still make money on my own, all those appearances I do and everything.
Sure.
And if you really love something, you do it for nothing, right?
Right.
That's the key. So I know that eventually this will make me a sweet living at somewhere down the line. But don't ever think that it's like all straight on. There's plenty of times I've been knocked down and questioned myself. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you, I get on that mat, I get done with that workout, I know what I'm doing is special, it's different, and it's going to change lives. And then I'll get that email from someone that I have no idea who they are. And they'll tell me how much this has changed their life and how grateful they are. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Man, one of wrestling's tops, both for the WWE and WCW, founder of DDP Yoga, formerly YRG, and absolutely one of the most exciting people I've ever had the opportunity to interview, and just such crazy over-the-top energy. I want to do it again sometime, but for now, I'll let you go. Diamond Dallas Page, we can go to ddpyoga.com to connect up with you, and like you said, put in DDP Bang, and you're going to get a phone call too, so that's nuts. Thanks for your time today.
Hey, Chris, it's been your pleasure. Oh,
no doubt. Thank you.